Hey guys, how's it going? Today's episode is coming to you from a rock in the middle of nowhere, basically. And today I'd like to talk about something I see quite a lot of happening in modern society, really, because everyone's at each other's throats, everyone's fighting each other. And it's something that bothers me a little bit, and it's called life snobbery. And there are two kind of parts to this argument, and as with so many things nowadays, it's kind of polarized. You're either one end or you're the other. And I guess life snobbery is the belief or the communication of the belief that your life or your way of life is like better than other people's, and you feel that you should push your way of life onto other people so that they feel bad about themselves. Like 7 years ago, I made a big change and I came over here to live in Spain, and I did so for a number of reasons. Just to quickly recap, after university, I went into work, did some traveling and whatever, and I found that the 9-to-5 life, office work, etc., and all that sort of stuff just didn't really agree with me. Didn't like it, made me miserable. So I decided to make a change. I made that change for me, and that's it. Like, it worked for me. I'm much happier now. But equally, you've got to respect, and I do respect that. For other people, everyone's got their own path. And there are people for whom that lifestyle works perfectly. And I've never made it my mission in life to kind of tell anyone that my way's better, or that anyone else should change to do what I'm doing. Because you shouldn't. You should do it your way. It should always be your way. I just do this because maybe there are people out there who feel the same as me in the office environment, and just to show them that there is a way out. You can do different stuff, but it's in no way aimed at attacking anyone else who's doing their own thing. And so many people do that. And I'm just going to look at one aspect of it now, and that's where you see it kind of first, probably when people go off to university. And there seems to be a snobbery attached to that at this moment in time, that if you don't do that, then you're somehow wasting your life, or you're not making the most of yourself if you don't go away to uni or whatever. I remember one of my friends coming to me. He didn't go to uni, and he was like, "What have I missed out on? What am I doing with my life?" And I remember thinking, like, you haven't missed out on anything really. If you didn't want to go, then, or if just nothing took your fancy, or for whatever reason you didn't go, then that's fine. Who cares? This guy now is living in Australia, and he's built a life for himself down there, so it never affected him. And it shouldn't affect anybody. Like, that's just a choice that you make, or not. It shouldn't be any pressure to do it if you don't want to do it. I see it with a lot of the kids now who I teach. They're pushed into it. They don't really want to do it. But there is that snobbery that if you don't do it, then you're not going to amount to anything or whatever. It's so stupid. Another one is, there's a snobbery with some people as well, that if you follow what they call the typical path, the typical life path, that again, you're wasting your life, you're trapping yourself, and you're doing nothing. The path of, get married, have kids, buy a house, all the rest of it. And again, that's rubbish. If you're happy, I know some of the happiest people who I know got married young, they had kids young, bought a house, and they followed their path, and that's perfectly fine. Who's anyone to tell them that's wrong? I've met people when I travelled around a bit through Canada and Australia, staying in hostels, and I met quite a few people there who were miserable. And it's kind of glamorized, go travelling, go see the world. All your problems or your life problems will disappear if you do that. And it's absolute rubbish. I did it again because it worked for me. I enjoyed it. It was a good decision for me. It is not a good decision for everybody, I can tell you that. And there's no way that you should try and guilt someone into feeling that they've missed out, or that they've wasted their life because they didn't follow that path. I remember staying in hostels, and people were crying because they just did not want to be there. They were miserable, they didn't have enough money, and they just spent whatever savings they had getting a plane ticket and going home. Similarly, I speak very nicely about where I'm living now, Matador. I love it. It's great for me. It works for me. It does not work for everybody. There was a girl I knew who came over here, and she lasted probably 3 months, and then she got so homesick and she hated the lifestyle, and she just went home, man. And that's fine. It wasn't for her. She tried it, whatever. But we need to get rid of this kind of snobbery that you have to follow, you have to be a free spirit and just cast off all your responsibilities. You don't. if your life works for you, that's great. The reason that YouTube's great and you can type in any country in the world and you can get vlogs and stuff from people living in different countries is so if it's not for you, you can see that it's possible. If you want to get out and you want to do something else, but if you don't, there's nothing wrong with it. So we need to stop sniping at each other and like trying to dictate, life snobbery on each other. So from that point of view, I think it's pretty bad, and people should just be happy with their own lives. So I guess that's really it. Just be happy with your own life, and don't get sucked into this thing that if you go to Vietnam when you were 18, or you took a year, 2 years traveling when you were younger, that your life would somehow be so much better. If you've got married and you've done all that stuff, good for you. You followed your path and you've done what's made you happy. So don't give in to all that. Take it easy.